No, she doesn't live here. Her mother still lives here.
Yes.
She lives on Nob Hill, but she married a friend of mine, and I had him over for dinner about a year ago. And he passed away since then, but she told the whole story that night.
Really?
Yeah, Rebecca.
Oh, yes, yes.
Does she have new information that hasn't been published?
No,
No.
It was probably more her.
Yeah, in fact,
her,
most of the people's memories are fading. I talked to, are you familiar with the name Mike Rodelli?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. We know Mike.
I've been, Mike contacted me a few years ago, and I've been in communication with him, and he was interested in the two different sketches done by Juan Morales, and a little bit of difference in the nose brow. And Juan Morales is like off the grid. And I finally found him. Well, I didn't find him. I got a message to him. He got back to me 6 months later. He's in another country. I can't say where, but he said, Vince, since I retired, you're the first cop I've talked to from San Francisco. I go, really? And I knew him. We worked together after the Zodiac, obviously, because I didn't go in the police department until '71. But I can't remember anything about that sketch, or the difference from one to the next, or why it might be different. I mean, that's.
And he did the revised one? Is that
He did both.
Oh, he
He did the original and the revised.
And he doesn't remember?
Doesn't remember why there might have been a difference.
Did he remember who gave him the information for the two sketches?
Yeah, but it wasn't all that clear. I mean, he's
Pretty old.
70-something.
I'm 70-something, I remember.
Well, you're a sharp 70. Juan's had a lot of tequila in his day. Great guy. Really.
Supposedly the
Loves
teenagers
Tequila
gave him the
could screw your
information
brain
for the
out.
first
Yes,
one,
it can. It can
but it's
rot
not
your
clear who gave
I
him
think
more
he
information
sat
for the
down
revised.
maybe with, again with Rebecca, and maybe even,
Pelicetti?
No, not Pelicetti.
Falk?
The two cops.
Or
Falk and the
Zelm.
other one.
Zelms.
What are their names?
Falk and Zelms.
Yeah.
Falk.
Zelms, yeah, because Zelms killed.
Yeah, he was killed on the
I'm sure
January
you people
1st.
know a lot more about the case than I do.
You know the case really well.
Oh, I know, yeah. I mean, I look at the site every year or so.
Oh, you do?
What did you think of Rodelli's suspect?
I got a binder that big, and it was very, very interesting. A lot of
Really?
compelling stuff. A lot of, it's all circumstantial.
Sure.
But I mean, there was a lot there, but of course, you can't point a finger at somebody who's a prominent figure and
Right.
libel or slander him
Right.
without some really concrete evidence. I met with him in the last few years, and that was interesting.
You met with the suspect?
Oh,
Yeah.
But how many did you folks come from far away?
Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa,
Point Arena.
Point Arena.
Not
L.A.
very far away. There's going to be people here
Pittsburgh,
from St.
Pittsburgh,
Louis
PA.
and Kansas City.
St. Louis,
In Kansas City.
really?
Or Louisiana. Louisiana, I think it was, in Kansas City.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
So how many people are on Tom's site now?
Oh,
all
God.
of us.
How many?
Oh, how many are on it?
Yeah.
Total?
I mean, members.
Couple thousand. I was living in San Francisco when the crimes were happening.
Oh,
And I have a place here still. And Sandy's old enough. Sandy and I were here during the time. We were reading the Chronicle the morning.
yeah, I was here. I was
Just younger than
I
us.
was
69. I was 19.
Yeah, I was 18.
Yeah, well, I
69.
let's see. I was 18 in December. I
One year
turned
they came and nobody was
19.
here. Like, there I didn't see you.
6.
Maybe you didn't see me because I was walking her.
Yeah.
But I lived in Napa, so that's where my interest is.
Well, I
Zodiac.
lived close by, but I mean, everybody was like, nobody parked in a secluded spot or anything.
The teenage pregnancy rate went way down.
Yeah.
Birth control.
What year did you start in San Francisco?
71?
71?
71, yeah. And then I was in homicide, had this case, 95, 96, 97. The biggest mistake I did, I went on Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was just like,
So Mike Maloney was your buddy too.
Mike was in my academy class.
Yeah, I
He
know
had the
Mike.
case. Him and
I
Kelly
know.
Carroll had it long after I did.
Yeah.
And
Why was it a mistake to go on Unsolved Mysteries?
I got, the most crazy, stream of, I got a glass in the mail, a water glass. Guy says, I went to my high school reunion and I know this guy's the Zodiac. He picked up this glass.
Yes, I bet.
A woman called me, wrote me a
boy.
letter from Cleveland or someplace, said, I know who the Zodiac is. And she said it's her neighbor across the courtyard in her apartment building. She comes home and watches masturbate every night.
Oh my God. She watches him?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with her.
Yeah, I said.
I
So-
could tell by the look in his eye.
There was just a constant stream of worthless tips. You still had to spend some time on
This might be.
distracted.
This might be Tom. Or that might be Tom.
That is Tom. Well, that's Angie, and that might be Tom and that.
Oh, they're all coming in
Yeah.
cabs.
Yeah.
Kelly went to one of the places I have in the city here a couple of years ago to dig up the garage, not the most recent one on Masonic.
Oh, on a different homicide.
Remember, yeah, Kevin Collins.
Okay. Oh, that case. Yeah, that was over on.
No, a couple of years prior to that, over on Ashford Street.
Have you ever heard of the suspect?
Hey.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, and that stuff looks good too. And everything.
What happened?
So,
Where's
Angie?
Tom? Is he still
He's on his way.
They're
coming in.
Oh,
So did they have one of those motorized cable cars you all went on?
Earlier today, I didn't, but some of these
Yeah.
others
was
did.
neat.
It was fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
What are the other sites you went to?
we went down Hates. We went down Oak Street. We went down Bell, where Stein lived.
Okay.
And then what was that
Oh.
church? We went all over the Hates.
We went to the only known mailbox where a Zodiac letter was
Terraville?
mailed from
Oh, okay.
on Terraville.
Yeah. We don't know which letter
Did you
that
go by the Hall
was.
of Justice?
No,
No, I've been there before.
no, we didn't. We went by the Richmond station.
Oh, okay.
Did we go by the Park Station too?
We went
Just
by the
briefly.
Presidio,
briefly.
and
Because
we went down.
you can't drive
of course,
into
did
it.
this in
Oh,
Pacific.
We turn left
because it's
on-
in the park.
It's in
Oh,
the
so you
park.
toured around here too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Went
yeah.
up to the park.
Yeah. And went into the Presidio. You know, saw the playground.
Pacific, that
The
Pacific.
Pacific, and see how easily you could get over the fence there
Oh,
and
yeah,
all
it's
that.
not even, yeah.
You know, it's a lot different when you look at it on Google Earth
Yeah.
Yeah.
than when you're here. I mean, these houses are a lot bigger than
You thought?
than I thought.
Yeah, they're big.
They're big houses.
And this is a lot
That's
closer.
really a little house.
Yeah, it is, but
Compared to some of them.
Compared
some
to
of-
some
yeah.
of
And
them.
it's a lot closer view than the pictures would indicate. The pictures make it
Exactly.
appear so it's a long way.
yeah, like you're on a boulevard. Yeah, instead of a narrow street.
You know what I was down to?
Tom's here any minute.
I don't have my glasses on. Yeah,
And he had his-
I
and he had
sent
his
them an
hoodie up,
email
and he said, "Is Tom
asking if
here?"
they were going to come. It was 9:55.
We tried. We got a little bit of a
Did you
late
check his
start.
left hand yet?
Well, I didn't know if you were, I thought you might come by in the day or.
We did
His
come
pocket.
by earlier today. We had a little casino part.
Yeah.
Took around, but
Yeah, fun. I was down at Levi Stadium. I went to a high school football game down there. I just follow this one team, and they just happened to play there.
think
So
so.
it's kind of cool to see the stadium.
yeah, I heard it's huge.
It's big. Yeah.
Pretty imposing.
I wouldn't want to be on the sunny side of that stadium.
No,
You guys are going back on Tuesday?
yeah.
Where are you staying?
I don't know yet. We were just kind of.
We
Oh
just-
no, we're
oh.
at Judith's house. Sorry, I was
Oh,
like, I'm
you're
thinking about
someone's
way
home.
back then.
Oh, okay. I thought you might be at a hotel.
We've been like so. It's been so whirlwind. We always. We drove down in one day.
There's even more people here now.
Like loud.
Yes, it's growing.
No, it's not. It'll be fine.
Stuff going on, okay. Okay, good.
No,
It'll be respectful.
Hey there.
she lives next door. Yeah.
So it was fun.
What's going on?
I just came rushing off on the way home. Remembered that it was close to 10 o'clock. Exact time.
You are Angie?
Yes.
Mark Hewitt.
Hi.
I guess we're
Oh, I'm
friends on
sorry.
Facebook.
Are yes. Hi. Nice to
Good to
see
meet
you.
you.
Nice to meet you too. We have two more paths from the so I just got the first one. to make sure.
Get my car out of the way because they might want to. Let Tom pull up.
Let him pull up.
Okay.
You can make a U-turn and park right there.
Here is Tom now.
Perfect timing.
Yep. And he pulls it
I
back.
never told a cop what to do and he did it.
And there were only a couple of us here last year.
Look at printout.
Yeah, we are.
There's
Hey!
Tom. The neighbors probably have a cow. We're here for Memorial.
Now, did you say the mother still lives there?
Yes, yes. You were
You know, somebody said, no, that's not the Zodiac's handwriting. I mean, there's lots of that kind of stuff. I mean, when Ted Kaczynski, I had the case when Ted Kaczynski was captured. And I mean, it didn't take, boom, boom. They had this guy from San Jose and a guy from the East Coast, both simultaneously, and I guess the internet was in its infancy at that time, but it went viral to what virus there was at the time. And there was lots of speculation in the press and stuff that Kaczynski could have been the Zodiac because he was in Berkeley, he was a mathematician, cryptography, blah, 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 and he's obviously nuts. So, but we were a little bit ahead of it, and the feds looked at the handwriting from the Kaczynski stuff and said, hey, it's not him. You know, it's definitely not Ted Kaczynski. And
He couldn't have faked his handwriting when he was the Zodiac.
with the Zodiac or Kaczynski?
The Zodiac.
You know, I don't think so. It's written. You know, it's difficult to fake your own handwriting. You know, from what I know about question document examination, I know most of that through my uncle, who's acknowledged to be one of the best in the world. And there's a fluidity to even if you're printing. There's a fluidity. There's a pressure stroke. When you're faking, you hesitate, you stop and go,
choppy.
You use different pressures, you're choppy. It's the same reason that tracing is easy to determine. You know, when someone meticulously traces a signature or something, it's not that difficult to determine it's a tracing because it doesn't have the fluidity and the pen pressure or the pencil pressure. It doesn't impact the paper in the same way. There's a lot of
The ink is thicker because you're going slower.
Yeah, a lot of things there.
Especially if it's blue filtered.
Yeah, blue filter. My uncle's done enough work on the Zodiac, the way he characterizes it. He says if I was standing in the bank line behind the Zodiac and he was filling out his deposit slip, I'd know it was him because it's ingrained in his memory, all the little, the K, the this, the that, and everything, all the different handwriting, what they call unique characteristics or but then again, something we think is, very unique. When you start looking into the realm of all people and all handwriting and all hand printing, it quickly becomes, well, it's still unique, but it's not one and only. Mm-hmm. It's like I learned that early when I was first a cop. Somebody reported, their car was stolen. It was one of these weird little cars. It was only about 4 feet long. And I said, this is going to be like the easiest thing to find. I mean, we just put it out, and it'll be found in half an hour. And as I drove around, I'd never seen one before. That night I saw like 6 more.
All of a sudden.
Because it's unique until you start looking for it.
That's true.
Then it's not so unique. It's like stars, they look unique until someone tells you, hey, there's 3 trillion of them out there. You know?
Yeah.
It's,
Interesting stuff.
so it's, yeah. But
So,
that would be the, you know, for me, I always thought, people always say, how would you know, you know, that you have this, one, he's got to confess, 2, he's got to submit exemplars, handwriting exemplars that match the letters, and 3, he's got to have Paul Stein's shirt, the rest of the shirt. And that's the Zodiac, you know. And I don't care about DNA that much, because those 3 factors are, and if you still had the gun, well, sure, that would be great. You could, but
Do you think he was a criminal genius?
well, so far, yeah, he hasn't been caught. I mean, I don't know that I'd call him a genius. He was,
More luck than anything.
you know, kind of crazy like a fox. You know, there are people that are diabolical, and he obviously did a lot of planning, a lot of thinking about what he was going to do. For whatever the motive was, you know, whether he's angry at cops and wanted to make them look stupid, whether he's angry at women because he had been jilted, or whatever, who knows, you know. Might have just, you know, look at what, after, or almost contemporaneous with Zodiac was the son of Sam. And his dog was talking to him. You know, who knows what, you know, why they're going to do these things, yeah. I met Graysmith, which was interesting when I had the case. When I first got the case, I went and talked to Dave Tosky, who I'd known since I came in the police department, and said, hey, can you introduce me to Graysmith? I just want to talk to him and get his take on things. And we met in a little cafe over on by Golden Gate Park, and he actually brought me a couple little like souvenirs and a picture that he drew, because he was a, you know, the cartoonist, but he drew that famous picture of the Zodiac at Berryessa with the hooded thing and the sheath and all that, and he gave me a copy of the picture framed. It was kind of nice. But interesting guy, very quiet, kind of nondescript. But
He's pretty rude from what we've heard.
Did
One guy
you
here.
send him something? Or you wanted to know?
Yeah, I sent him something, but that was just to autograph with a self-addressed stomp down.
Oh, I don't think he'd. Yeah, he would.
No, I wouldn't. But somebody here had met him, and he said he's super rude, even just on the street and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's like. That's why I went through Tosky, because I heard he doesn't talk to anybody. So I had an introduction. He was pleasant to me and stuff, but I know I think this whole Zodiac thing in some ways, you know, changed his whole life. And maybe not for the better, who knows, but you know, he
Well, he
made a lot
still
of.
believes it's Arthur Lee Allen.
He what?
He still believes it's Arthur Lee Allen.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
pretty.
and so he figures, you know, the Zodiac's dead.
Yeah, he's pretty sure. But yeah, and you know, and we kept after Arthur Lee Allen died, part of his brain was kept. So
Yeah, they did the DNA.
yeah, so if we can, you know. But my uncle looked at Arthur Lee Allen's handwriting a number of times, and that's what always convinced me that Arthur Lee Allen, I didn't think was a viable suspect, because he said he's given lots of exemplars. We looked at a lot of his handwriting. He didn't write it. Now, unless there's 2 people, you know, that's always the out. When you say this person didn't write it, well, what if there's 2 people working in concert? One wrote it, one killed. Well, more power to them.
Yeah.
You know,
And you could say the same thing with the envelopes if they have DNA under the stamps, and if it matched, it could have been somebody else that licked the envelope.
Lick the stamp.
Oh,
Yeah, see, and that's
go on
what
forever.
that's what I tested in '96, I guess it was. We tried to test DNA behind the stamp to the brain tissue of Arthur Lee Allen, and that did not match. Yeah, so.
That
But
ruled him out.
you know, then people say, well, how do you know Arthur Lee Allen the Zodiac licked that stamp?
Exactly. We play that game forever, probably.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well, there was some other letters also.
Oh. There was a one ad that appeared in the Chronicle in 1976. I think it was in July or August of '76, and it said, "Zodiac, your partners in deep real estate." I can't remember the whole ad. It wasn't very long. You know, it was a short ad in the personals. And it, you know, your partners in deep real estate and then it said something about the Imperial Wizard.
That's right.
And it was something that was in Graysmith's book, but I actually went to and looked in old
second book?
chronicles.
Or the first book? The second book I haven't read, so and
No,
I don't remember that.
I actually went to the Chronicle and found the ad.
Oh.
It was in the Chronicle.
Yeah,
It is posted on Tom's Forum.
Morford's site also.
Yeah. Well,
Is that the one that was linked to that kooky person?
O'Malley, yeah. That's what. Yeah, but I want to know what other people think about that. I don't think it's.
I think some people do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Zodiac was a hot topic, so I mean, you know, that's if you put any type of ad or anything with the name Zodiac, you're going to get people.
Yeah, well, I had understood that the police looked at a lot of the personals around the time.
I'm sure they probably did. Yeah, I don't.
You don't remember that?
I didn't look at personals. No, by the time I got the case there.
No, it'd been way long,
Yeah.
but at the time,
Yeah.
69, 70. I just didn't know if that was anything you might have known about.
Have you heard that Toschi comes here on the anniversary of his killing?
You know, I heard that. I think that was in the movie, wasn't it? Or
They did a scene where
he.
Couple of them,
came.
wasn't
You know, if I had the case in '69, I'd be here the next 3 or 4 or 5 years for sure. And I'd done that on other homicides, or go to the funerals, you know, and stuff like that.
To watch for the suspect.
And some of that, you know, can prove valuable. I doubt Dave Toschi's coming here in the last couple of decades, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's fully retired. He worked, after he left the police department, he worked in corporate security for a hotel.
I heard he was still working in security.
He's still working?
That's
Wow.
what I heard just
Like
this past
80s.
year when I talked to Graysmith.
Wow.
Because Graysmith still stays in touch with
I
him.
haven't been, I know the hotel he worked at, I haven't been down there in a long time, so I haven't.
Pan Pacific, I think. That's
Yeah.
where he was.
Yeah.
That's when I surprised him. He was at the Pan Pacific still.
Yeah, well, he was the head of security there for a long time. I know. Maybe still is.
So should we walk the last
walk?
known north?
The walk?
Yeah.
Hey, it was fun. It was
Thank you.
enjoyable.
Nice- very
I hope
nice to
someday
meet you.
one of you all catches them.
Yeah. It'll be one of us.
All right.
I'm gonna
Really
no, I'm
appreciate
gonna take
it.
off. Yeah. Okay.